And now the 419 with Gretchen DeBacker, Matt Killam, and Kevin Mullen.
Welcome into the 419, powered by WGTE, presented by Wheatro Wealth Management. I'm Kevin Mullen.
Gretchen DeBacker.
Matt Killam.
It is our Toledo.com community calendar driven by TARDA, where we take a look at some of the top events in the region, of course, curated by our friends at Toledo.com. And we've also got a couple of exciting guests lined up for the show today. I'm super excited to have on, and it's been long overdue, Kate Fineske with the National Museum of the Great Lakes.
The award-winning.
That is right.
Yes.
And I think this is not just the first award, but I feel like they just keep winning awards.
I agree.
And doing incredible work. Kate's got such passion for the Great Lakes, such passion for Toledo, and brings all of that together. And so it's just one of the many ways that you can be a tourist in Toledo. And I'm excited to talk to her about just traffic, right? How many people are coming and walking through the turnstiles there at the National Museum. But I'm really interested in like where they're coming from, right? So how many are local, how many are from outside the area, and I think they're both strong.
Absolutely.
But the reality is I think I'd shared maybe on this show previously that my family and I went, and I've been to the National Museum a few times, but like for events and things like that, and I hadn't taken the family.
Yeah.
And we took the family last summer, and it was...
They loved it.
The most fun.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be. I mean, truly, I'm not a huge history person, and I was just like, I don't know. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good.
The exhibits are incredible. The staff is super nice too. I went planning on being interested, and it was still far exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Queen Bee and Honey is going to be here as well. Another coffee shop participating in Coffee Quest. So we'll have them on the program later. Of course, Gretchen, I know while you're excited to talk to them.
Mostly it's the drinks.
Yeah.
And
you're a fan.
Yeah, I was out there right in the heart of Haynes Garden Center out in Holland. And it's just this delightful front corner of that greenhouse where they're set up, and quite good, quite delicious drinks and snacks. So excited to get to know them and how they got into the business.
It's such a cool idea putting it inside. I think
there were people.
I love
it was
those.
packed.
Yeah.
There were people everywhere.
I love it. I love it. All right. You want to dive in? Let's take a look at our Toledo.com community calendar driven by TARDA.
This week.
This week.
Nailed it, Matt. What's on the docket?
It says right here, this week. Yeah. The Toledo Walleye playoff hockey. Kevin, do you know anything about this?
Yeah, game one tonight. It's interesting the way that they play, right? So they've got game 1 and 2 here in Toledo.
Yeah.
3, 4, and 5 are on the road. They play Bloomington, 3, 4, 5 on the road, and then they'll be back for game 6 if needed. And we hope it is in this kind of a structure, if needed, back in Toledo.
That'd be fun.
I've always preferred them to play numerically.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yep, that's the way to do it. But this is, I'll be honest with you, if you do not have tickets right now, you're probably not getting them.
I was just going to say, we should go Friday. It'd be fun. Or Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, they might be standing room only, but I mean, Huntington Center is so different from Fifth Third Field in that way that like being inside a building, you are legitimately fixed. There aren't great sight lines everywhere the way that you have in a Mud Hens game, but it is a great atmosphere. The fans are fantastic. The team is playing well. It's like, all right, let's go fish.
Let's do it. Okay, another big weekend, and these are both inaugural events as far as I can tell. But you actually, when Googling, you have to put in Toledo Picklemania Toledo.
Yeah.
Because there are other pickle festivals. People really do seem to enjoy the whole thing. But
so it's necessary to put Toledo in twice.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to the Picklemania in Flagstaff.
Wasn't the same.
Disaster.
Wasn't the same.
Yeah.
They just don't have the appreciation.
That's right.
This event is at Toledo Pickle, interestingly.
On Water Street.
Down on Water Street is part of the Glass City River Walk. It's from 11 to 7 on Saturday. Totally free. Pickle vendors. There's such a thing as pickle vendors, pickle-related food. They will have music all day. But the cool and fun thing is also that Party in the Park has joined forces with this event. And so there's a Pickle Fest kickoff on Friday night where the Bridges are going to play
Yes.
at Superior in Washington. It's going to be 70-some degrees on Friday night. So that's going to be a real fun thing. Go to see the Bridges, then go to Pickle Fest on Saturday.
I think we had, the show will air tomorrow, but we had at our 419 day party, Ladder 419 was out there for the first time. They'll be out at Party in the Park all summer. I say for the first time with the new owner.
Yeah, I saw
but,
Erin.
But they're, I'm pretty sure that
They're at Pickle Fest?
Scott said they're going to be at Pickle Fest
good.
on
Yeah.
Friday as well.
Good. The next event is the third on our list, and that's the Adam Street Dance Festival. Adam Street this is all day on Saturday. Actually, it's all night on Saturday. Starts at 4 p.m., ends at 2 a.m. So I will be asleep for about 8 hours of this. But it's this Saturday, the 25th. All up and down Adam Street, multiple stages, technical music, movement. It's not technical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not technically music.
Oh,
Techno?
Techno.
Yeah.
Techno music.
That's not short for technical.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
There can't be a cooler gal telling you idea what to do this
I'm so
week.
excited.
technical
All right.
music.
How about something that you should know something
How about this
about?
segment coming to a close?
Yeah. Toledo Ballet. If you're into a different kind of dance,
Tech dancing.
Saturday. It is technically dancing.
Yeah.
Saturday the 25th and Sunday the 26th. The Toledo Ballet is putting on Coppelia, which is it's a comedy ballet. It's a storybook ballet, and so that should be a lot of fun. Kids of all ages go to that, and that is at the Valentine Theater. And then finally, again, I said this morning I did forget to sign up for this again this year, but
You've had that
the
lagging
Mercy,
ankle injury.
Yes.
That's right.
For 50 years. The Mercy Health Glass City Marathon is this weekend, so pay attention to traffic routes and things. Go out and cheer people. We have a number of friends that are in the relay. Your wife is doing the 5K.
Danny is not a runner, but she has been training because one of her dear friends was basically trying to get back in to running after an injury, and so Danny agreed to go run with her, and so they're doing the 5K together.
Are you guys going down to cheer them on?
We're gonna go cheer them on.
Fun.
Yeah, I'm so proud of her.
That's so cool.
They've been how they've been training is they've identified the speed of different animals, and so now they're trying to run at the speed of different animals.
That's insane.
And so their goal is to run faster than a chicken.
Yeah, all right.
I ran a half marathon many years ago in Chicago, and I was so slow. I couldn't even be in a pace group. I was so slow. I practically walked the whole thing.
But you ran it.
I did, but I was so far at the end that the police cars were coming to take the barricades away and saying, runners take to the sidewalk. That's how slow I was.
But it was just you.
It was
and they were
devastating. I was like, I needed a
Some
headlamp.
great events that are happening. Of course, you can find all the details on them at Toledo.com. Our friends at Tarta can get you to each and every one of these. And so get out, enjoy Toledo. We're going to take a break. When we come back, a great way to enjoy Toledo and celebrate Northwest Ohio is to celebrate our Great Lakes. You can do that at the National Museum of the Great Lakes. When we come back, we'll have Kate Fineske from the National Museum of the Great Lakes here on the 419. We'll be right back.
Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at witroadvisors.com.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.
Welcome back into the 419. There are so many great ways that you can enjoy Northwest Ohio. Get out. Of course, as we take a look at our community calendar, there's awesome things that you can do every single week here in Northwest Ohio. But there's one great way that you can be a tourist in your own town. And our friends at Destination Toledo are helping us talk to great people doing great things and great opportunities to enjoy our community. Get outside and enjoy all the great things that are here in Northwest Ohio. Kate Fineske with the National Museum of the Great Lakes is here with us. Kate, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm a fan and excited to be here.
We appreciate that. You and I have had this conversation before that you're always the one that points out when I'm late to upload something to Spotify.
I'm a morning person and I need to listen early.
I didn't even know we were on Spotify, so it's a big meeting for all of us. Am I pronouncing this name correctly as Kate?
Kate it is. You can call me Catherine. That's my real name too, actually. Catherine with a Y.
All right. Catherine with a Y.
Catherine with a Y.
Okay.
Catherine with a Y.
So if people aren't familiar with the National, we'll go back and spend some time. I want to talk about kind of where you came from and some of your background, but let's just start with National Museum of the Great Lakes. What is it?
Yeah, the National Museum of the Great Lakes is an incredible spot. I remember the first time I saw it thinking, how the heck did I not know about it? And that's primarily because it's new. We moved here to Toledo in 2014, but we've been around for over 80 years now. We began in the basement of the Cleveland Public Library, producing journals. Yeah, what happens is when we still produce this quarterly journal to this day. What happens when you're producing journals about Great Lakes history, you're talking to a lot of Great Lakes history enthusiasts who are also collectors. And so we became collectors and pretty quickly, within a decade or so, outgrew the basement of the Cleveland Public Library. We were gifted a home by the Wakefield family in Vermilion, Ohio. We became first the Wakefield Maritime Museum, ultimately the Inland Seas Maritime Museum. Our mission at that time was to preserve and make known the history of the Great Lakes. But if anybody's been to Vermilion, it is the most beautiful, but a little sleepy seaside town. And it was that make known component that just wasn't working for us. So we had our board of directors and our executive director at the time. They looked all over the Great Lakes. We could have landed anywhere. But by a couple of different circumstances. First, we had the Boyer downtown, and this idea, there was this grassroots effort to save the Boyer. And then we had this space that had been built by federal maritime funds. It was supposed to be a ferry terminal, and as they kind of say in baseball, they built it, but they did not come.
Sure.
And so it was this, probably overpriced event hall for a couple of years, and we landed there, and it just made for a wonderful combination to bring the Boyer down, fully restore it back to its 1911 roots, to the Colonel James M. Schoonmaker, top to bottom. I mean, we have the most exceptional museum ship, really, I think, in this nation. We work really hard to care for it. It's my largest artifact and my most expensive artifact.
Yeah.
And since then we've just been trucking along. I joined the team in 2019, and
Before the boat, was Adam your largest artifact that you had to care for?
And most expensive.
and my most expensive, and the truth teller for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, your husband, who is the superintendent of Ottawa Hills Schools.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan, as you know.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a little.
Me too.
I have a kiddo, I bet.
So what can people see when they go to the museum, other than obviously the boat? What are the things that are on display?
Yeah, so we have 14,000 square feet of museum exhibit space interior-wise. So, we have, I think, 11 different galleries. We have, underwater archaeology. We actually have an underwater archaeologist on staff. So we have shipwrecks. We also have passenger vessels. We have military stories. We have stories of segregation on the Great Lakes. We have one of our newest additions, because we just put a brand new 5,000 square foot addition on last summer with new permanent exhibit space, an area called Every Boat Tells Our Stories, featuring the Bob Sellers model collection. And we have an all accessible ramp up to the pilot house of the St. Mary's Challenger. This is cool, but it's cooler than it even sounds, because the St. Mary's Challenger was actually a fleet mate of the Colonel James M. Schoonmaker. So we have a photo back from the early 1900s of them on the water, black and white, together. Ships go through a lot of different names, a lot of different owners, but the pilot house ended up on our grounds. And now it's our experience in that winter. So in January, when the museum ships aren't open, people can still go on, get a pilot house experience, and y'all have seen our ship out there. It's got this really tall gangway. It isn't super accessible to every single person that wants to be up there, so we now have a fully accessible space for people to visit.
Kate.
What was the original use for that boat? What was it? A military boat? Was it a freight?
For the Colonel James M. Schoonmaker and the St. Mary's Challenger, but they were both, lake freighters. In fact, the Colonel James M. Schoonmaker was launched as the Queen of the Lakes, which means it was the largest ship at that time. It was 617 feet long. It was also the showboat. So it has some extra spaces on board where the owners and everybody used to bring on the vendors and the people that they were doing business with to really show them what a great place this was to transport their goods.
Yeah.
And so the Schoonmaker and the St. Mary's Challenger were both that. They were really just taking goods across the Great Lakes and doing that for its entire life. The St. Mary's Challenger is actually thought to have been the longest sailing lake freighter in the world. 108 years it sailed and plied the Great Lakes, and its hull is actually still operating as a tug barge today.
Wow.
So it's pretty incredible and a really neat thing for people to be able to see.
I'll tell you, Kate, we've talked in passing, Toledoans and people in our region are certainly good at talking about what we are not as opposed to what we are. We are just a stone's throw from Lake Erie. Why is this important for people to know, and why is it such a unique part of our country?
Yeah, well, first of all, we really, it's really my goal to make people think of Toledo as not just the glass city, but a Great Lakes city.
For sure.
Freshwater these days is a hot commodity.
That's right.
It's a very important part of our ecosystem. We've done a lot of work and Metro Parks has as well. The Maumee River is the largest watershed into the Great Lakes, and so it's something that we should be really proud of. Another thing that I just want to mention about specifically Toledo's location across the Great Lakes, from the entrance of the St. Lawrence Seaway all the way over to the furthest port to the west, Duluth, Superior, Toledo is a very central location. So real quick, we are the National Museum of the Great Lakes because of our scope. We cover all 5 Great Lakes, U.S. and Canadian history. Believe it or not, there are close to 100 other maritime museums just on the water. But what makes us different is this idea that of those about 100 other museums, they are telling the history of the body of water that they sit on, or their maritime history in their community, or a certain type of scope, like the Sulaks or shipwreck history. We cover all of that, both U.S. and Canadian history, and we sit at the intersection. So when I'm traveling all across the Great Lakes regions, whether I'm at a speaking engagement, at a conference, I'm always talking about Toledo. And people, they're asking, so where is the National Museum of the Great Lakes? And oftentimes when I used to say it, they'd be like, well, I drive through there. Because whether you're coming from the Upper Peninsula or Canada or Chicago or New York, you have to drive through Toledo. And so we're really looking at making Toledo not just that place that you drive through, but that place that you stop and start to have Great Lakes conversations. That's our vision, to be the gathering place of Great Lakes conversations.
What's the name of the other national museum in our area?
National museum in our area.
What's the other one?
You tell me.
There
we have
is-
some incredible museums.
But you're
I
the
think we
only-
are the only
That's right.
national museum.
That's exactly right. That
We
was
are-
a
It's like
softball,
the
Kate.
Ohio State. We are the National Museum of the Great Lakes.
And our only one. This is the only one.
We are. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's really neat to have it here in
That's
Toledo.
very cool. Let's go back a little bit in time and tell our audience how in the world you ended up being a person that's an expert on this topic. How did you get to this job starting
came in
in
on a barge.
2019?
My parents crack up because when they come to the museum, they're like, how do you know this much stuff about ships and maritime? I am an arts and culture junkie. At the age of 6, I started playing the piano. In 4th grade, I picked up a string instrument. I actually played the upright string bass in the jazz band and orchestra and in the community all the way through high school. And then when I came to the University of Toledo here, I played all the way through UT. I came to UT to study art at the Art Museum.
Where are you from?
I'm from Mansfield, Ohio,
Oh
originally.
my gosh.
Yep.
How about that? I didn't know that.
The heart of Ohio is what they call
That's right.
Mansfield.
To study
and,
what type of art?
I wasn't really sure. I ended up falling into the graphic design path. I'm a very analytical and kind of technical thinker. But I actually graduated with a degree in marketing, communications, graphic design, and a concentration in music. So what brought me to a museum? Well, I'm an arts and culture lover. I later in life went back and got my MBA. I've been running nonprofits for a pretty long time now. I had about a decade where I parented more than I worked. I also have 3 children. At that time, I got very involved in anything that I could volunteer for. One was a local organization that supported moms. It was called the Mother Center of Greater Toledo. I grew that membership organization from 10 to 100. Caught the national organization's eye. They said, hey, can you help us do this in our other places across the nation? They hired me. I worked from home, which was not a thing really back then. And, just kind of kept growing. And as my kids went back to school, I kept getting, higher and higher and taking on more responsibility. The organization was based out of Long Island, New York. So I started flying back and forth. But I love Toledo, and I really wanted to end up back here in Toledo. So, some years in, I started looking around, and I ended up becoming, I worked my way up to the assistant executive director of that organization. and then joined United Way of Greater Toledo as their Vice President of Engagement and Brand Strategy. I was there for a little over 2 years and landed about halfway through that time at the National Museum of the Great Lakes, because United Way was celebrated its 100th year anniversary, and I was looking for a place that we could tell our history, that we could have a donor celebration at, and a colleague introduced me to it. And I walked in there and I was just like, how did I not know about this? My kids we take them to the zoo, to Imagination Station, to the Art Museum and the Family Center. We are through our metro parks, in and out and all about. The library is like our favorite place, and the downtown library is so incredible. How could I not have known about this big, huge boat? And I realized there was a lot of opportunity. So when a role came up, and at that time I was hired as a director of communications and development, I actually took a pay cut to go there, because I just believed in this institution and what it could do for the Toledo area and what it could add and the value it could bring. And I just, I love it there. So that's kind of how I ended up there. I have a great team. That's what kept me there. When you have great people, you can do great things.
Yeah, that's the antithesis of this show.
You've also built a great team. I mean, you've added some great folks to that team as well.
We've grown a lot. I will tell you, when I joined the team in 2019, we had about 6 folks working there. We had an operating budget of just under $1 million. In Vermilion, we are around 300,000. We've doubled that operating budget. This year I have about a 2.1 million operating budget, and we're growing, and we need to grow. We need to continue to grow because we've got a diverse audience. The majority of our folks are coming from outside of Toledo. We have about 6,000 individual members, and about 72% of those members are located outside of Toledo.
Can you repeat that one more time? I think that's a really important thing.
Yeah, 72% of our membership is located outside of Toledo. We also had our largest visitation last year with the opening.
Yeah.
So we had over 32,000 visitors that came to the National Museum of the Great Lakes. We just put together a 5-year strategic plan, which has us doubling that visitation to over 60,000 visitors. Really something important to share about us. We have a really diverse revenue structure, and we do not receive any local, state, or federal operating support whatsoever. We work really hard to make sure that we're accessible to the community, even though there's a price tag connected to it. About 4 years ago, we instituted Museums for All, which is a program that allows people to use their SNAP benefits and use their EBT card to access the museum. And now all of our programming, thanks to some generous sponsorship through Toledo Refining Company and New Toledo Health, so that they can come and visit our museum at any time.
Well, your expertise and your leadership is evident in the sharp rise of awareness, and the improvements that are made to that museum since you've been there are clear not only to us, to the community, but also to the people that pass out awards for this kind of work. So we're going to get to that.
Okay, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet.
Okay.
Tell us about the word quickly.
You got 50 seconds, go. No, seriously, we're going to take a break. We're talking with Kate Fineske with the National Museum of the Great Lakes. When we come back, I want to talk about the award. You also, just yesterday, opened a new exhibit, so we'll talk about that as well when we come back. On the other side of the break here on the 419.
To me, community means connecting to others.
I'm Donnie Miller, and welcome to The Point.
I love CBS Kids!
We're a community committed to education. Discover new ideas, dive into exciting subjects, and engage with the world around you.
I would send them personally a t-shirt. Crime doesn't pay in the Old West End, pass it on. That's how we cleaned up the neighborhood.
Vision loss for people is not the end.
It's a story. It's the next chapter.
WGTE Public Media invites you to Get Out and Play Day.
Monday through Friday, it's the 419 powered by WGTE. With Matt Killam, Gretchen DeBacker, I'm Kevin Mullen. What can people expect on the show?
It's going to be an hour, a reminder of why this is a great place to live, work, and play.
WGTE, where you come to watch, listen, and learn.
Welcome back into the 419. We're talking with Kate Fineske with the National Museum of the Great Lakes. Gretchen, I'll hand it back to you because you were just about to tee up some great breaking news.
Yeah, I actually saw on social media, Kate, so congratulations, but a couple of big awards coming your way. Can you tell us about those?
Oh my gosh, it was so exciting. We were recognized as the Ohio Museum Association Institution of the Year.
Wow.
As well as recognized for Exhibit of the Year, the top exhibit of the year.
Give us some context for the substance of that award. It's a big deal, but not everyone may be aware of it.
Yeah, no, it is a big deal. You know, the Ohio Museum Association represents all of the museums in the state of Ohio, and there are a lot of them. And so every year they try to recognize the institution that has really gone above and beyond, you know, done things that can really inspire others, and we're just thrilled to have been the recipient of that. Let me tell you a couple things about last year. It was chaotic, it was beautiful, but it was crazy.
Yeah.
Because not only were we opening up our new 5,000 square foot expansion, but we were doing so many other great things. We had just launched our 5-year strategic plan, something that our team worked really, really hard at putting together. Afterwards, we had the grand opening, which was crazy. Then, of all the things, we had been partnering with the cruise lines for some time now. We actually became partners with Victory Cruise Lines close to 4 years ago, actually over the pandemic, when they donated a 10-day cruise to us to raffle off to help us raise some significant funds. So Victory Cruise Lines is a cruise that really only sails the Great Lakes, and they were really interested in what we had to offer. Well, we had negotiated, thanks to our great friends at Destination Toledo, and people were going to pay extra every time they stopped their cruise ship in Detroit to take a 40 to 50-minute bus ride down to visit just the National Museum of the Great Lakes. And so we were in partnership. We also had temporary exhibits on board both of their museum ships. And Shelley from Victory Cruise Lines happened to be in town visiting and doing a couple things, and she's like, oh my gosh, we have this instance that we can't use the dock at Detroit. I don't know what to do. Do you know anybody? I was like, do I know anybody? Let's get you here. So of all the things, on top of opening up our new expansion, on top of the 5-year strategic plan, for the first time in decades, Toledo saw cruise ships. And it ended up not being just one, but 7 different visits from Victory.
Isn't this the images that I saw on the news and social media where the mayor went down and meet, and there was, you know, a big celebration for people getting off the boat? They looked a little confused as to why so many people were there welcoming him, but it was such a good event.
And I'm going to tell you, we gave them the best showing, and I know Metro Parks was there as well, so you got to see it. Like, we had a band out there playing. They were just totally welcomed. The people loved it here, and I think that's why they're coming back.
I was going to say, it wasn't just a one-off either.
It wasn't. They are coming back next year, and we've got another cruise line that's going to be joining us this year, too.
Part of the exciting momentum, it seems to me, just based on where the boat is the Glass City Riverwalk, and the number of visitors that are going to be coming in and around that area and the development. Is that part of your
Well, we have the most beautiful downtown ever, and they saw the potential. I mean, construction means progress, right? I think I've heard you say that. I've heard other people say that. It really is true, and they knew they were just starting off here. I mean, we've got Dean Davis painting the beautiful mural where the boat was going to be stopping. It was just incredible, and we showed them that we could do it well, and we got them here, and this year they're coming back. But I got to tell you, on top of everything else we're doing, all of a sudden then having, 7 cruise vessels along with 20 other visits, we brought in over 500 passengers last year from Victory Cruise Lines alone.
That's amazing.
So that was a lot. And then we also, you can't not honor and pay tribute to the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Very much a Toledo story, but very much a Great Lakes story as well. And the 50th anniversary is a special one, so it wasn't something we can ignore. So that was a part of kind of this winning the award. It was over $100,000 weekend for the National Museum of the Great Lakes, and that's just us internally. We partnered with Quench and Tempered Brewing, who actually launched a beer, and they were so great. It was so funny. I mean, the beer was amazing, and they served the last dinner, what was thought to be the last dinner of the ship and crew. And I'm telling you, from noon when they opened up their doors until they closed at night, there was a line. They said they did more sales in that one day of that launch than the entire year that day. It was amazing.
Kate, for those who aren't familiar with the story of the Edmund Fitzgerald, do you mind giving us just a little snippet of why that's relevant, and particularly relevant?
They've never met Wade, who brings up the Edmund Fitzgerald in almost every single conversation.
The mayor would be a much better storyteller of the story.
Well, it's important in Toledo, and you do a good job of doing that. We can move along quickly.
Talk about the new exhibit.
Yeah, please.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so we last year when we opened up our new expansion, we have finally dedicated space for a rotating gallery. And last year's temporary exhibit is now award-winning as well, too. It was called Dark Waters, True Crime and Mystery in the Great Lakes.
Love it.
This year, and every year we plan on opening another large-scale temporary exhibit. It'll open up on Earth Day. It's called Currents of Change, a living history of the Great Lakes. And we start to look at the ecology of the Great Lakes and what that means in history, what that looks like in history. And, you know, Metro Parks was a partner in this. Our good friend Zuri was our final reader. We also, you know, we're the storytellers. We're not necessarily the content knowledge folks. So we work with a lot of partners to make sure that we're developing the right content that tells the right story. And you should see this exhibit. It is incredible. So we've opened it up as of Earth Day, and we're excited to welcome people into it all the way through October.
Where does, like, we talked to some other folks, like we talked to Imagination Station, we talked to the Art Museum, like where do ideas for like these kind of exhibits
Oh, it's so
come
fun.
from?
It's so interesting. It's not anything, you know what I love most about this job is no day is the same. And you get to do so many different, unique, and creative things. So remember, I have a very creative background. So being able, and I have this team that is just so incredible. We sit down, we do a bunch of brainstorming. We have this long list of different exhibit ideas. And we try to think of stuff that, first of all, in our new strategic plan, one of our core values is partnership. So being able to partner with people is really valuable. And this brought a lot of opportunities for us to really partner with our neighbors, the Metro Parks, and with some other entities that we had been building relationships with. And I know you've been at the museum, you know, maritime history is very industrialized. But the truth of the matter is that we really want to bring the next generation of Great Lakes history enthusiasts into the work that we're doing. And a big part of the last, I don't know, 2/4 of a century, right, is really the ecology and the changing of our waters. And that story really needs to be brought more in. So probably about 4 years ago, we started doing a little bit more with that in our programming. We have a Great Lakes Book Club that we always bring in an environmental book into that. We have a lecture series in the fall and the spring where we bring in an environmental lecture. We do some kids programming in the summers through our Captain Scuppers programming.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. We've got a lot of stuff going on there. And so we brought it that way, but this Currents of Change exhibit is our first time to be able to bring it in as a rotating exhibit. And quite honestly, my next goal is that our organization can bring it in as a part of our permanent exhibit space.
What's a maintenance thing that has to be done to the boat that people would be surprised about? Wow. Like, especially like in the winter months. What is something that has to be? I mean, it's.
Well, I will tell you what surprised me, and people see us doing it, maybe turning it into a hotel. The paint is a huge structural part of our museum vessels. The paint is the most expensive thing to do. I mean, I spend a couple $100,000 on an annual basis painting that museum show.
Kevin is in makeup for 2 hours before our show.
I spent a couple
So you can only
$100,000.
imagine what a 617-foot lake freighter would be
I use
like.
the same size roller on this face.
So you start, and by the time you get back around, you're starting again, basically.
Oh yeah, basically.
That's right.
And you've got the exterior, you've got the interior. We also, and I haven't mentioned this, but we have a 120-plus-year-old tugboat as well, the Museum Tug Ohio, which last year we fully repainted, and that required kind of a strip down of the paint, and it also had a little friend there for a while.
Yep.
The Tug
living
Superior.
That's how Kate refers to me. Yes, we're more on that later, but we were, first of all, from a Metro Parks perspective, we have absolutely benefited from such a great neighbor. Our visitation is the inverse of Kate's cruise, meaning most of our visitation is from Lucas County. So we have seen tens of thousands of people who have happened upon, just thanks to...
Which is mutually beneficial for us because we really want Lucas County to start to wrap their arms around us.
Be careful, I don't know if you've seen these Lucas County people. You don't want them around your spot.
So talk to me a little bit about that. I mean, you've got so many visitors from outside the area that are validating how important this story is, how cool this museum is, that it's worth the trip. And we've got so many folks here in Northwest Ohio. I think we miss the thing that's right under our nose. What is the number one reason why somebody should make their first visit to the National Museum of the Great Lakes this summer?
This is easy to answer. The number one reason why, especially people around here, I swear to God, we have the best view of downtown Toledo on board the Colonel James M. Schoonmaker. In fact, during the downtown 4th of July fireworks, we do a members-only viewing.
So cool.
And so we have about 200 people on board the Colonel James M. Schoonmaker that are members. If that is your reason for becoming a member,
Then
I
do
say
it.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a great
But
opportunity.
it's also to be a part of a piece of history, to be able to see it, to see the way, you know, I mean, and really, it's incredible. It's a really great experience.
Speaking of incredible and great experiences,
It's now time for
Gretchen's Wacky Quiz. Of course, Kate has come prepared like a total nerd.
All right.
That I am.
I'm going to ask you 4 rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Gretchen's going to ask you to describe Toledo in 1 word.
Okay.
And then you and Matt are going to list out the 9 best things in
That's
Toledo.
really hard.
Right, well,
You've got 3 kids and
and a husband. All right, here we go.
You're halfway down there.
Question number 1. When was the last time you wanted to scream?
When Kevin called.
Yesterday when Kevin called me and oh my God, it had
That's
been a
not very
really
kind.
long day, and we
Aw.
have a really long night. But anything for you, Kevin.
Oh, thank you. All right, what's one thing your parents constantly nag you about?
What's one thing my parents constantly nag me about? Maybe, I don't know. It used to be when I was little to pick up my room. I'm a really neat freak now. Then I think it was to call them more.
Yeah.
Now they live around the block from me. So
Now it's stop coming over.
I think I listened to my parents. That's the story.
Yeah,
you know?
There you go.
That's a good
So
story.
you're saying that it worked.
It worked. It must have worked.
Yeah.
All right, you said you're a neat freak. Who's the messiest person you know?
Yeah, sure, Matt. There you go. right there at you.
All right, and what's the best purchase you ever made?
The best purchase I ever made. We love our home. We live out in Sylvania. We actually built that home. It's been where we've raised our 3 kids, and
What a great
my
answer.
husband and I love it.
Yeah, I love that answer.
What's the 1 word you would use to describe the city of Toledo or the region?
Collaborative.
Love it.
Good.
Collaborative. I will tell you, if I had multiple words, though, I would want to call us the cultural capital of Ohio.
I agree with you 1,000%.
Well, now
Yeah.
you've got the hardware to prove it.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
You
right.
just have to
Yep.
be saying so.
Yay!
All right, you and me, lady.
Yes,
9
okay.
words that are your favorite parts of the city or region.
Okay, well, of course, I have to say the National Museum of the Great Lakes.
It's got to be
first.
number 1.
Yep.
And then I'm going to combine a couple things because I'm going to call the Maumee River and Lake Erie my number 2.
Okay.
Love it.
I think that's really important. Our park systems.
Thank you.
And it's not just Metro Parks,
That's
but
right.
it's also the outdoor Sylvania.
100%.
I live in Sylvania, and I love living by parks. Especially during the pandemic, we were inside and outside of parks
All the time.
entire time.
My disloyal daughter Lucy's favorite park was Olander.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great. I actually served at one point in time as a marketing advisor when we were going through a levy campaign. The parks are just really
I agree.
important to myself and my family. Our library system,
100%.
especially the main library. My husband, myself, and our 3 kids have been fans. If you go through the archives, we've actually been on commercials for them.
Yes.
Like, I love the library.
There you go, cool.
And so I usually, in fact, I was telling people as they're getting off the boat, you know, that they're going over to the museum, but they're like, you know, what can I do that I was like, well, if you want to walk to the
Just go to the
library
library.
downtown,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh my God, you could spend
Yeah.
hours
Yeah.
in there, right? You know? And then, well, I actually have to say, you know, Live Arts Toledo.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am a symphony person.
Cool.
I don't go as much as I would like to, but I'm really proud of what they're building over there. I
Totally.
just think the new space is incredible. My goal is eventually to get back to taking piano lessons
Aw.
again.
Yes.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
so I eventually am going to get back to doing that
Sure.
probably through Live Arts
With your
Toledo.
infinite free time.
With
Yeah.
well, you know, I've done an MBA where I've worked full time. I've
Yeah.
raised 3 kids while I've worked
100%.
full time. I just finished building an expansion, and so I've got time
You
now.
do have
That's
time.
right.
You know?
That's right. 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. is back open again.
Art museum, of
Love it,
course.
yep.
I have actually a gallery group that gets together
Cool.
on anywhere from 2 to 6 times a year, and we go tour with docent-led tours. And so I love to
Love that.
really be I love our art museum. It's fabulous. I cannot go without saying Toll House because that was my home away from home, my office when I had no office space in the last year as we were building. And so it was a great space, and I'll combine that with jazz because I am just I love jazz. I love listening to jazz music. If you asked me to name a jazz artist, I'd be hard pressed.
Lydia, we asked you to name 9 things. We have 5 hours for this. One more.
Great.
Last one.
Bike paths in the University of Toledo. Go Rockets.
Nice.
Go Rockets.
Go Rockets.
Kate, you
I
excelled.
told you I was trying to get it all in there.
You
There were too many
excelled
things.
on your list as you do in most things. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
So fabulous.
If people want more information on National Museum of the Great Lakes, where can they find it?
Visit us at nmgl.org. That stands for National Museum of the Great Lakes.org.
But just stop by. It's beautiful.
Yep.
It's fantastic. And you guys are open?
7 days a week beginning May 1st.
Goodness
So
gracious.
we're closed on Tuesdays, November through the end of April, and beginning May 1st, we open up the museum ships.
So exciting. A couple weeks
Come
away.
see our new exhibit, Currents of Change. We'd love to have you.
Opened yesterday. Get out and see it. Kate Fineske, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
When we come back, we will continue our Tour de Cafe, that is Coffee Quest, with our friends from Queen Bee and Honey. We'll be right back on the 419.
Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at witroadvisors.com.
Destination Toledo. Whether you're a local or a visitor, Destination Toledo invites you to explore the region and be a tourist in Toledo. Find events, dining, and things to do at visittoledo.org.
WorkSpring. HR issues and employee well-being go hand in hand. WorkSpring supports employers through compliance, training, and wellness because healthy workplaces don't happen by accidents. Learn more at workspring.org.
Toledo Refining Company, a subsidiary of PDF Energy. Toledo Refining Company is a supplier of fuels that keep our region moving. Located in Oregon, Ohio, the refinery processes crude oil into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other petroleum products.
And Tarda, celebrating its 55th year of connecting Northwest Ohioans to their community. More information at tarda.com.
Welcome back into the 419. There's so many cool things to do across Northwest Ohio and so many great small businesses to get out and support. And one great way to do that is by participating in Coffee Quest. Our friends at Destination Toledo are inviting some of their friends from Coffee Quest to come join us here on the 419. We're joined now by Ro from Queen Bee and Honey.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hey, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for being here.
I've been jamming on you guys for a while. I love you guys. I love watching you guys.
you.
Yeah,
I
I just think
that.
it's fun.
It is fun.
So let's just start. So you brought some delicious treats for us today.
Oh, yeah.
What did you bring?
So we brought some. This is our new house latte. So it's organic brown sugar, vanilla, cinnamon, and it's all house made. And then we brought our house made cold brew. And it's interesting because we were like bottled drinks. We've had so many people call and go, can you cater? Can you? Because the truck that we have now used to be mobile. So people think that we can still just pick it up and know fly it like this magic school bus. And so we had a lot of people calling about things, and I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to do bottled drinks. Some people will buy 2 or 3 and go, can you not put ice in it? Can we? Can I bring it back home? And so we thought, you know what? Let's do bottled drinks.
Yeah, it's
and
smart.
this is we haven't rolled them out quite yet. We did it for the zoo.
Oh, sweet.
Crazy success. We did slow brew. Amazing. Big shout out to the zoo. They always treat you so incredible. Yeah, they make you feel like a king, and they will do anything for you, and it was amazing. But we underplanned in a great way, and we sold out of our bottled drinks within minutes.
That's amazing.
People are like, wait, this is this? Okay, I'll take, and we're like,
I'll take 6.
super, honestly, super humbling, very grateful experience, because whenever you create something, you put yourself out there, it's always scary. Because you're like, are people actually going to like this?
Are they going to come to the party?
That's how I feel with my children.
We dove.
We dove right
I got
in.
right into this, but let's. Queen Bee and Honey is a coffee shop that is inside
of Haynes Garden Center.
Yeah.
So that whole story is wild.
What is that story?
People love this story. So Matt, you would know this. My wife and I, along with, so Stephanie was the Haynes daughter, and her husband worked at Haynes. They were the marketing director, and he does everything in the back end, all the design, all the tech, all the website, all the SEO, and because their business is behemoth is a good word for it. And so Bree and I were working in corporate America, lost our jobs. I'll keep it really short. And it was on a Friday. The accountant goes, "Hey, got to get your new company car?" And I'm like, "This is fine." And it was that like normal. Then on Monday, the doors closed during COVID. And so we lost our jobs. And
you should have taken the company car.
Yeah. Be like, I'm going to take this. You guys can keep the job.
Right.
Yeah. And
I need a blowtorch.
Yeah, I need
access to the internet.
Yeah, like it's going to be fine. Just trust me. Like the old Office Space where they're out, you know, I'm going to burn this place down. And so, long story short, we were home. Mila was just a new baby, and she was a miracle baby in the first place. We couldn't have kids, had her, it was a miracle. And so we're looking, going, okay, we're employable. This is great. We know how to do things. We're smart people. Obviously, you guys know everybody's being furloughed or laid off, or doors were closing, and so unemployment didn't kick in for 16 weeks. It was crazy. Nobody's fault. It was just millions of people were all under the same thing. Well, on
That's a long time. 16 weeks is a long time.
On a Friday. So that Friday when I was going to get the new car, we ended up getting a check mailed to us. My stepmom's cousin decided to mail us a check for a lot of money out of nowhere, and then we lose our jobs on Monday. So what a blessing that was. It carried us through until we got everything figured out. And so Brandon and Steph decided, hey, come over. We all sat in the backyard. Start Love the People. It's an ethical, sustainable clothing company. You know all about it.
Yep.
And fair trade, all this good stuff. And so we started that. And then 6 weeks after we launched, Steph passed away. Every time I say it, sorry.
It's okay.
And so we're sitting there going, crap, we just started this. Let's just not do it. And then it was funny. All the family, her family and Brandon, like, should kill us all if we decided to stop this.
Sure.
And so, super close with the family because of that. Known them forever. Grew up with the boys a little bit in school here and there. And so, when Steph had her celebration of life, some friends that used to have the truck brought it there as a surprise to say, hey, we want to. We didn't have a funeral. We had a celebration of life down at Metro Parks actually.
Yeah,
at Glass City Pavilion, right? Am I saying that right?
You got it.
And so, beautiful. It was like a party, and then so the dad, Bob, we call him Papa H, he was, long story short, he ended up acquiring the truck, bought it from them, because Steph always wanted a coffee shop in the greenhouse. Well, they had it for almost a year and a half. We just popped in to say hi to the family, and we called Mama T, Teresa, said, hey, you guys have like a consulting thing, right? Like would you guys want to build this out for us? And we said, let's get through Christmas, like retail sales, and we'll build it out. Yeah, we'd love that. They just thinking we're going to help the family. Get it built out, and started falling in love with it. And because we've always been in love with coffee, tons of friends all the way from, all over the U.S. have coffee shops that we know. And so we jump in, and the girl we hired was amazing. Her husband was a teacher at St. John's, and she ended up getting pregnant and couldn't continue. So we're like, oh no, it's no big deal. And it was sad because we loved her to death. Yeah, but we were so happy for them. They had an awesome little boy. And so we jump in, and we're like every night we go home, we're like, we really dig this. Yeah.
Right.
And we knew we were always coffee people, but it just felt right. And then so one day, her and the boys and Papa H, they were like, we're building it out. And well, here's the crazy part, guys. This is the shocker to a lot of people. While we're building it out, about 80% of the way in, they lost their dad unexpectedly at 61.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so he literally rode because the place is so big, he rides his bike over, and he did one of these things. He goes, hey, Ro. I said, yes, sir. Remember Shawshank Redemption? I said, yes, sir. Get busy living or get busy dying. And he said, get busy living. We don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow, because he was going for an outpatient procedure the next day. Then he rides back by again and hugs me again and goes, love you so much. If anything happens to me tomorrow, I'm going to be okay. He was supposed to be back to the greenhouse that afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And we were actually doing a pop-up with one of the local breweries, and we get a phone call that things aren't going well. We flew over to the hospital. He gets life flight to Cleveland and died in Cleveland a couple of weeks later. And so they lost their daughter and their dad, husband in a year and a half's time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so we're facing, and people tease me now, don't start a business with Ro. Just you can laugh, it's okay. So that was like, okay, so what we did is Actual Coffee jumped in, and all these people jumped in to help us because the truck was stripped down. We get it put together, and they have a big house in the back that grows tons of stuff. Wheeled it out there, had a celebration of life for Papa H. And so the last 2 times it was used was for Steffi and then for Papa H. And then we launched a Mother's Day weekend. It'll be 2 years ago this Mother's Day.
2 years
it's
ago.
Such a meaningful, the story behind that is so meaningful, certainly to you. And you can really feel the warmth and the comfort of the whole location, the way it's tucked into
Guys, thank you.
the greenhouse there. I mean, I didn't know anything about that story when I was there. It's just such a welcoming environment. There were so many people there. They have cafe tables in there now.
Yeah.
So to be able to be in a space that's so full of life when that's the story
It's
of it
so-
is, yeah, amazing, and such a good product.
But
too.
people love
Thank
you, and anyone that's met you, both love you and your beautiful bride.
Thank
but
you,
I will
brother.
tell you, there is a real coffee snob here amongst us. It's Gretchen, and she's been drinking this product. So let's talk about the product.
I have not.
I've never seen it. It's like a zombies to brains over here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, it is interesting. Because when we were just going to hand the whole thing off and just be like, okay, guys, we got a staff, we got this, and then all the things happen. And so the boys and Teresa came in and said, do you guys just want to become partners?
Yeah.
And so we're operating partners. So Bree and I do the whole thing. And so, like, love the people. We want to do things. We want to do it well, do it with intention, do it with purpose. And anybody can go. There's so many amazing, hence Coffee Quest, so many amazing coffee shops. And so we're like, we want to do things with real intentionality. And so we use actual coffee. Lance, honest to God,
So
he's so incredible.
Yeah.
And he's become an incredible friend over this, over all this. And so all of our syrups are either house-made or they're organic. They're shipped in glass bottles if we need them. We try so hard to present a very clean, beautiful coffee-forward product. And people are like, it's not overly sweet. It's good. It's balanced well.
Yeah, that's it. That's
and I feel like I'm bragging, but it's not me. I'm bragging on our team. We honestly, I always say we put our team up against anybody. We have the best girls that work for us. We almost treat them like our family.
Sure.
And they are seriously the best. And I don't know what we do without them. Like, that's the truth.
Tell us a little bit about Coffee Quest and why it was important for you to participate in that.
You know, I've always loved it, and it's always so much fun, and it opens up people's eyes to new shops, to new opportunities, to new people. Like, some people may have never heard of this shop over in this little pocket, this little town, and I love that they expanded so much now. You can go to Wausiana, you can go to,
I've always dreamed of going to Wausiana.
Yeah.
Now you can, Matt.
Now you can.
That's right.
You know, and you got Walbridge, and you got Bowling Green, and it opens up an opportunity for one. It helps boost their sales. It helps boost the economy in the area. But when we jumped into all this, doing this, I was like, I want to get into Coffee Quest, and because I knew just from being a part of it and watching it and learning it, it's one of the things I love about the city is we're all about helping drive small business so well.
Just for people that may not know, Destination Toledo has sort of taken over Coffee Quest that started organically with some coffee places, and it runs through the end of June. You can go to any of the participating locations and get a card and register and win all kind of prizes, and it's just a fun way to...
Oh, it's so fun.
It's a fun way to have 50 different types of coffee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some people, and now it's extended to 3 months. They said, we don't have to cram 12 shops in a day.
No, right.
Yeah, especially on the weekends.
So, go ahead.
When you think about, you talk about all of the great local businesses that are around the community.
Oh, it's amazing.
I had this conversation, my daughter is notorious for saying, hey, Dad, can we go get Starbucks? And my response every time is, no.
Yeah, no.
But I tell her, but if you would ask me, can we go get SIP, right? Can we go for
Oh, yeah, we would love Courtney.
I'll take you. I'll take you every day.
Oh, yeah, every day.
Why is it important, just not specifically about your business, about the local businesses, for somebody to choose local when they're going to pick up a cup of coffee?
My biggest reason for this, and I have this conversation often with people in the shop. Small business drives America. You can do the research on it, and it employs so many people. And without that, there wouldn't be places for people to go get jobs, honestly. And I know it sounds so silly to say it that way, but so much of America is driven by small business. And if we decide, and so many of these corporate companies now are buying each other out, and one company owns 8, 9, 10 companies now. And I think we need to push even harder for small business, because it does employ so many wonderful people, and it creates community, and I think it grows cities, personally, because when people go to move places, they're like, well, what's the small business community like? What's the community like in general? What's this like? What's that like? And so it's just a beautiful, that's my reason.
Have you incorporated become more of a fan of plants since you've been there? Is your house full of plants now?
Tons. I've always loved plants. I've loved nature. That's why I love the metro parks, no pun intended. We spend so much time outside, and Mila, our daughter, just got a brand new bike, and so Spoke Life
This
Cycles.
is another bike. Last time I
So she's like into the out of Oak openings now at Heavy. She's learned how to ride the ramps. She does the trails. She does and she just turned 7. And so plants are huge. Plants are amazing.
We're talking with Rose from Queen Bee and Honey, promoting Coffee Quest, which is going on right now. As you've built this out, what's been the most surprising part of entering into this kind of entrepreneurship journey?
I think one of the shocking part, you hear it all the time, like you're gonna work nonstop, but it won't feel like work. I think that is the shocking part. You go 7 days a week, even on accident, even when you take time off, you're still on the clock. But when you love it so much, it doesn't feel like that old adage, if you find something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
You'll work your butt off, but you're gonna go home happy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how fulfilled I would be and how much, just me personally, I know some people are built for corporate, some people are built for this and sales, and I realized I wasn't built for that. I was built for community and built for people and built for, and so I love it. I think the most shocking part is how enjoyable it can be. Yeah.
What's your go-to coffee drink?
Me, I am a cold brew.
Yep.
Straight cold brew or an Americano, and once in a blue moon, if I'm getting sassy, I'll take like that much organic oat milk. I'm talking like a bloop. Yeah, I know. Watch out now. Gotta look out for that minor figures. We'll go bloop, and then I do like 6 grams. We measure everything in grams, so that's why our coffee is always very consistent as well. I do 6 grams of agave, so it's like a bloop, and that's if I'm feeling dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Always iced?
Yeah,
always.
always.
Cold brew?
Yeah,
Okay.
always.
Yep.
Yeah.
People want to find Queen Bee and Honey. Give us one more time where folks can find you.
Oh, so we're on the corner. So if you're on Airport Highway and you're heading like away from Spring Meadows, almost to the Holland-Perrysburg. So you come up there where the Chick-fil-A is. You turn left on Holland-Perrysburg. You go past the Sherwin-Williams right there, where this main drive on the right-hand side, right there by the Douglas Building.
Incredible. Queen Bee and
Thank you
Honey
so
inside
much.
Haynes.
You're welcome, guys.
Greenhouse, Haynes Garden Center.
Yep, you got it. Yeah, Haynes. And it is Haynes. Because everybody thinks it's Hoens, because it's H-O-E-N-S.
Yep.
And I was teasing, we need to do a reel and have everybody wear Hanes underwear and just walk around
right.
like, it's
Haynes.
Try to have returns.
Yeah, just be like, it's Hanes.
They generally don't fit. Yeah. I'd like to trade these in for a fern.
Yeah. Everybody bring a pair on these, be like, I got a fern for these Hanes underwear.
Wonderful. Ro, thank you so much.
Thanks you guys so
Thanks
much.
for participating in Coffee Quest, and appreciate you bringing in the treats for us today.
Yes.
Of course, man. It was an
all right,
honor
get out
to be
and
here.
enjoy Coffee Quest through June. Tons of great opportunities. You can find more information on Destination Toledo's website. We'll be right back to wrap up this Thursday edition of the 419.
You laughed with us. You learned with us.
Hi, neighbor.
We made sure your childhood was special. Memories that could only be provided by PBS. For generations, we've given you programs that made a difference. Programs that entertained, informed, and inspired. And today is no different. This is WGTE Public Media in Toledo. It's where you belong.
Welcome back in to the 419 as we wrap up our Thursday edition. Took a look at our Toledo.com community calendar driven by Tarda. Some great events happening across the region. You got to get out and enjoy Northwest Ohio this weekend.
Kate and Ro definitely brought the energy this morning, woke us up a
We
little
needed
bit.
it.
Yep. I wanted to mention one more quick event happening this Saturday at noon, and that's the Peace Choir is meeting at the main branch of the library if you want to gather and join with our friend Gail.
What time is it again?
It's at noon at the main branch library.
Gotcha.
And my kids' musical.
Yeah.
Dare to Dream at St. Pius.
Speaking of standing room only, got to get those tickets.
Get
Get
the
out there.
tickets.
Yeah, it's going to
Yep.
be a great show. So excited. If you missed any part of today's show, 7 a.m. on YouTube, 3 p.m. on FM 91, or 6 p.m. on WGTE Connects channel 30.4. Thanks so much to Kate Fineske and Ro from Queen Bee and Honey for joining us, and thanks to you for being here as well. It's the 419, powered by WGTE, presented by Witro Wealth Management.
Take WGTE with you, wherever, whenever, with the newly redesigned WGTE app. Watch our locally produced TV programming and your favorite PBS shows. Listen to FM 91 Live, stream our podcasts, and stay in touch with NPR News. Plus, get access to PBS Kids, great entertainment when you're on the go. All on demand in the palm of your hand. Download the WGTE app on the Apple App Store or Google Play today.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.